Howdy, hi, and hello everyone. Welcome to Noah's Nest. I am no longer sick. I am all better. I am getting tired of getting sick though. It is getting very annoying. But welcome to Noah's Nest, where I myself, Noah, will be relaxing in my comfy-ish chair, where you guys can either sit down, relax on your bed, couch, if you're at work. Hopefully you're relaxing at the moment, like on your break. But this is where I will either talk about a topic, talk about a new TTRPG I gathered, maybe even a character creation, or just something in the realm of fantasy. Today's episode, I've been having trouble with this lately, and maybe some of you are having some trouble as well, where creativity might be a bit dry right now. We've all been there, starting at a blank page, struggling to come up with something to go with the next story or a great idea for a character or even a campaign. So how would you get that creative flow again? Today, I'm gonna talk about ways to possibly reignite your imagination and maybe even keep the ideas coming, while trying not to get stuck in the middle of it. So firstly, what is a creative block? A creative block is when you are feeling mentally blocked or uninspired by anything, making it hard to come up with new ideas or solutions, where this can really happen to anyone, no matter how new or old you are in experience. I'm doing the same thing right now, where I have a creative block with one of my stories that I'm trying to type up. We all have it there. Why does this even happen? Well, it could be a couple things. One of them can be from burnout. You've been working too hard or for too long without any rest, and your brain just might need a full-on break. You could also be overthinking, trying to force these ideas so you can come up with more, but it just ends up making things worse. Creativity might need some space to breathe. Or maybe it's even some pressure. Feeling like your next creation might not be perfect, but you're trying to make it as perfect as possible, will stop it almost entirely and immediately. If you notice yourself struggling to make decisions, maybe you're second guessing yourself a lot or feeling frustrated, it might be a creative block. Now let's think of some techniques that could maybe break through these creative blocks or just possibly put you in the right direction. First one is kind of simple. Take a break. Sometimes the best way to spark that creativity again is just stepping away. Don't look at it, don't touch it. Maybe even while you're working or going for a walk or listening to music can spark it right back. Do something non-creative. Give your mind space to wander, and maybe it'll come back naturally. Something else can be change your environment. You're stuck in the same room trying to type up a script. You're in the same space you are for the past 3 weeks doing the same routine. Try creating a new story or a new campaign in a new space. Instead of staying in your room or staying in your computer room, your bedroom, go to a coffee shop, sit outside, go for a walk, go move to a different room to give you some quote-unquote clear air, maybe. Next, maybe do some free writing, or you could also say brain dumping. Grab a notebook, sit down, and write everything. Just vomit onto this page. Don't censor yourself. Don't worry if nothing is connecting. It doesn't have to be good. It does not have to be organized. This is just to pretty much jumpstart your creative juices. Don't worry if nothing is connected. Don't worry if anything makes zero to little sense. Just vomit on this page, and hopefully it might jumpstart your creative juices once again. Next, use prompts or even random generators. I've had to use this in the past as well, where I'm feeling stuck, the characters aren't making sense, the story's not making sense, and I'm just falling into a deeper and deeper hole. Just go online, go on to a random prompt generator, or just any, like a random name generator, or just a random adventure generator. Those can easily inspire you to either start writing a story based on that, or if none of them make sense or you enjoy any of them, go to some others. Go to books. If you like reading books, find a book that you loved in the past and just start reading it again. Maybe you'll find something that you enjoy. Or if you love video games or movies or TV shows, go back and watch some of those episodes that brought you into the creative world. Maybe it'll just spark it up once more. And lastly, collaborate. Sometimes being by yourself will just take a toll on you, where you're like, man, I don't know if I really want to do this story. It doesn't make any sense. This character's not making sense. Find someone else. Find someone to bounce ideas off of you. It'll spark creativity almost immediately. We have done this many, many times with stories or characters. Bounce back and forth against someone. It doesn't have to be massive. It can just be a one-on-one. It can be a fellow friend or a gamer. Just maybe they have a different viewpoint. That one usually revs up my creativity pretty easily. Even if none of those things are working, there are different ways to try and get inspiration, and it can become unexpected. First one, let's look outside of TTRPGs. Look outside of the world of board games, the different TTRPGs that we play. Go outside, go for a walk. I have done this many times where I'm in the middle of work and I'm getting my job's done, everything is running smoothly, and then bam, I have an amazing idea. I usually have a notebook and a pencil or a pen with me. I quickly write it down, so if I ever lose the idea, it's already in my notebook and I can easily write it down later. You could go to books, read genres or authors that you might not typically read. You might be able to find a character or plot idea that can easily spark something within you. Like, I usually go for either comedy books or maybe like manga or even like adventures. Well, I might dip into some horror to see if there's any characters that seem interesting, or maybe even a story that deals with carnivals. I am a massive fan of carnivals. Go to either even movies or TV shows. Something visual that might unlock something new. I've done the same thing where I'm in the middle of watching a show, and we were watching, I believe, season 4 of Stranger Things. And there is a point in time in one of those episodes where it made so much sense for a villain character that I could kind of tweak some stuff around, and it made it so intriguing and creative came back to my mind. And you could also go for art, visual art, maybe abstract or even fantasy work. You could also go for AI, just type something, and maybe even go to Google and type fantasy backgrounds. Something can easily create that creative juice flowing. It can inspire new worlds, characters, or even scenarios for your different campaigns or stories. Something else that you could do is just taking a break from gaming. If you're really stuck, try just stepping away completely from the TTRPG activity for a bit. Play a non-TTRPG game. Do something like Stardew Valley. I've been doing that recently, and it's been really nice and relaxing. Even though I'm fucking pissed trying to get this specific bundle done, it is surprisingly relaxing. Possibly explore other hobbies. Painting, cooking, or even rearranging your room can even bring you to a new breakthrough. And it surprisingly does work. When I lived back home, I lived in a smaller room, and I was able to move into my older brother's room, and it made it a lot easier to get some creativity juices flowing. Something else is maybe even use real life experiences. Take inspiration from people you might know, maybe even people that you've seen throughout your life. Sometimes even a small interaction can turn to a unique character trait or even plot point to your game. An example for that is one of my old characters. Whenever I used to play, maybe 7 years ago, I had a character called Jace Buckman. He's absolutely my favorite character I have ever played. And he was an old pirate, an old sailor that shipwrecked, found out about this small town, and kind of just been living on his own for a while. And some parts was he had an eye patch on, and if you took that eye patch off, you could see just his eye was sunken into his actual skull, and you could see like the actual ring of his skull where his eye is. And that was inspiration from like a gentleman from my hometown. He didn't have an eye patch, but he did have a sunken in eye, and I feel badly about it, like for him, but it just kind of created like a bit of a flavor for a character. Now, since we've talked about trying to break through some of these creative blocks or maybe finding inspiration, maybe let's try to build some of these creative habits. Firstly, let's try and make creativity a habit. Creativity is a muscle, in my opinion. It gets stronger the more you use it. Try setting aside time to either write, brainstorm, or even create a character regularly. Even if it's just 5-10 minutes out of your day, create a character, create something that could seem interesting to you, just to make sure that creativity is still flowing. Maybe I never had this, but maybe even use a journal. You can keep a journal with you where you can jot down random ideas that pop into your head, whether it's a plot idea, a cool character trait, or even a new game mechanic. You'll never really know whether you want to revisit later. Next, you can engage in a daily creative challenge. There's many apps on your phone that you can either download or get. You can try a 1 idea a day challenge. It doesn't have to be a full fleshed out thing. Just like come up with some small concept every day. Over time, you'll have a rich pool of ideas. Maybe even you have already made a full-on world throughout these day idea challenges. Lastly, you could easily just accept imperfection. Sometimes we get stuck because we're either too focused or making everything absolutely perfect. Remember, creativity often thrives in rough drafts. Don't be afraid to create something imperfect. That is kind of where the magic happens. Next, how can we stay inspired for a long term? We could either set long-term goals or even shorter-term goals. Think about where you want your creativity to go over the next year. Maybe start where you want to create 3 characters that are fully in depth. Or maybe even by the end of the next year, you'll have a fully campaign world or design a whole-on world of characters that have a backstory and intricacy throughout each and every character. Long-term goals can give your creativity direction and purpose, but short-term goals can also do the same. Keep exploring new interests. Don't limit yourself to just one type of genre or one type of character. The more you expose yourself to new ideas and experiences, the more creative inspiration you'll have to draw from. Don't just stay on one set of books. Like, don't stay on the Twilight series or a Supernatural series or whatever. Go out to different forms of genre, not just stay in one. Connect with other creators or other communities, whether it can be an online group, local gaming clubs, or even just talking to other TTRPG enthusiasts. Being surrounded by other people with this kind of creative mind can keep your creativity alive. And something that I need to do soon is look back at my old work. When you're feeling stuck, look at your old characters, your old campaigns or game ideas that you've worked on. Maybe some of those older work can help you spot patterns, themes, or even ideas that you might have missed for these newer stories or characters or even games. So, there you have it. So maybe some practical tips to help spark your creativity when you're stuck, whether it's taking a break, going out into the real world, or maybe even getting a new habit. Remember, creativity is not a one-time thing. It takes time, patience, and practice. The more you work on it, the easier and easier it'll get. So, thank you for joining me at Noah's Nest. If you want to check us out, if you like this episode and want to hear more, check out all of our older episodes that we've done in the past. From all the Noah's Nest that we've done to the Tavern Talks and C&C Talks and all these one-shots. Just let us know what you like. You can check us out on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, all of those things at either Creatures and Cantrips or Creature Cantrip. Send us a message. See what you want to listen to more, or tell us if you need help feeling inspired by another story or idea that you need. Like, share, comment, rate us 5 stars. Everything really helps us at making this podcast grow. And we really, really do appreciate it over here at Creatures and Cantrips. So, without further ado, and the last thing I will need to say for tonight is see you, love you, miss you, goodbye, guys.